What is up, Steelers Nation? Thank you so much for jumping on to another episode of All Steelers Talk. I'm Noah Strackbine, joined always by my main man, Jacob Punturi. Find us on youtube.com/All Steelers Talk. Check us out anywhere you get your podcast. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they still are making coaching hires, but we are done talking about them. Meanwhile, we will talk about how Mike Tomlin may have known he was leaving for 2 years. Does that seem weird to everybody else, or is it just me? How Cam Heyward dropped a pretty significant hint about what the future of the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback position looks like if they abide by maybe one thing, and I'll add on to it. And then there is a new quarterback name, one that could come with a mid-round trade, one that may make you throw up in your mouth a little bit. At least that's what I've been saying to Jacob all day long. We'll dive into all of it plus more. It's a good one here in the city of Pittsburgh. Hope you're good. I got a little story for you before I embark in this one. I don't know about you, but I'm a guy that impulsively buys things quite a bit all the time. And every 2 years, I'd say, that impulse buy becomes a vehicle. I'm just like, I don't know, man. Now I want to be a truck guy again. Now I want to be a this again. I want to be that again. And I'm entering my dad, and I'm not a dad, nor do I have any plans of being a dad anytime soon. I'm starting to enter my man, dude, it'd be real nice to just drive a nice Toyota. It'd be a really nice phase. And my car is in the shop, and it's been gone. And the mailman today goes, "Did you get rid of your car?" I was like, "Nah." He's like, "Good. That's a fantastic car." And you know what? I took that as the universe just being like, "Brother, you're not ready for a Toyota. You're not ready for a Toyota." It was a good day. Hope you're feeling the same. And I hope you don't cars. That's just the worst thing to do.
No plans to get any new cars anytime soon. Only if the family gets upgraded from soon to be 3. If we go to 4 or 5 anytime soon, then we might need a new vehicle. But for the time being, we can fit that little sucker who'll be here in a couple months right in the backseat of the car we have. I'm feeling great. I've been having a giggle for the past 10 or so minutes because I'm looking at a picture of Sam Darnold wearing the extra large Seattle Seahawks jersey that they have him in for his press day. He looks like he is wearing his big brother's uniform. It is the funniest thing ever. This man is 3 days away from being a Super Bowl champion potentially, and he looks like he can't even find a shirt that fits him right. I'm having a great day.
I'm glad. I do love that picture, man. Shout out to Sam Darnold. If you're not rooting for the Seahawks already, I think there are a couple of reasons to do so. All of them being that Sam Darnold's just funny in the spotlight, man. He's just a funny guy in the spotlight. I'm a fan of him. You want to know who some Pittsburgh Steelers fans are not a fan of these days?
Who?
Mike Tomlin, for one reason or another. And I think that Mike T deserves a hell of a bunch of credit for what he did for the Pittsburgh Steelers over the last 19 years. But this latest story freaks me out a little bit, dude. And I want to talk about it. According to Jay Glazer, who was on the Jim Rome is Burning show, said this when asked about if Tomlin's done. He said, quote, "I think he's done. He told me and Rondé Barber 2 years ago. He was like, hey, this is my plan. You can't say this. Don't show my hand. I'm telling you, you're my guy." 2 years ago, to just essentially blindside the Steelers, blindside the players. And you could probably make the argument that he did it in good faith to say, I don't want to cause distractions. Still feels I don't want to say a little, very strange to know that you are going to leave an organization in 2 years, one that you gave 19 years of yourself to, one that held on to you when many people said don't. And now you're just, okay, this was that premeditated. Maybe I'm off here. Maybe I'm looking too deep into this. But this is not quitting a job. You know what I mean? This isn't you quitting your 9 to 5. This is you just quit being an NFL head coach. And to know that for 2 years and not tell the Rooneys, maybe weird, maybe not. I don't know. I think it's weird. Do you feel differently? What's your thoughts?
Oh, if the assumption we can draw from this is that the only 2 people in the world to know of Mike Tomlin's plans outside of Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
Were Jay Glazer and Rondé Barber, not Omar Khan, not Art Rooney II. That's where I agree with you 100%. That is so weird. It would be such a strange sort of emerging part of this news story, because I was thinking, yeah, it sheds a new light sort of on him going from losing on Sunday to stepping down on Monday, right? Like, because we're thinking about it for 40, for 2 years, for 24 months, you probably aren't, you don't need more time to think about it or to put your 2-week notice in. I find it hard to believe that only those two men knew and no one else knew. And also, why wouldn't Art Rooney II or Omar Khan be someone that you would want to tell, because they seriously alter and tailor their plans to looking forward to right after you step down? Then they could have coaches lined up ahead of time, or at least in mind. They could change maybe how they adjust the roster or their overall plans, maybe how much they are listening to Mike Tomlin's urgent pressing on certain draft needs, free agent input. Maybe that gets tuned out a little bit over those last 2 years for the better. If they are aware of his plan to step down following the 2025 season. Jay Glazer, I will say consistently, has had pretty accurate information regarding Mike Tomlin. It seems like they are very close. I have no doubts that he has inside information regarding everything that went down. The only two guys to know were he and Rondé Barber. That's where I get really tripped up, and almost want to call it a little bit selfish for not informing your employer of like your long-term plans. You know what I mean? Like that, I feel like to me, that would be like me showing up in April and being like, "Hey, dude, baby's born. I'll be back in a month." You know what I mean? Like we've talked about, we have a plan. You know what I mean? Like
yes.
I don't know. It's a little wild to me.
It's wild, right? Like it just feels, and I don't think he did anything wrong, but Rooney sounded, I mean, he said it himself. I was not expecting it, didn't see it coming, which means he didn't know it was coming. And it just, I don't know, weird, very, very strange. Again, I'm sure there's reasons we don't know that Jay Glazer isn't telling in a 7-second clip, but
sure,
situation,
there's probably more context.
Yeah,
but I guess why wouldn't have, like, what incentive would Art Rooney II have to have described his departure the way he did? He described it as, like you said, kind of sudden. Like there wasn't really any sort of hinting at it beforehand. What reason would he have to say that they were surprised, other than to maybe save face if you make a terrible coaching hire down the road? But I don't think that's too master plan for me to give the Steelers credit for doing, or Art Rooney II. So I think they were surprised by it. So it just leaves me wondering why two men not connected to the situation at all are the only ones you disclose this information to.
Yeah, agreed. Like, it's just weird. It's the NFL. You know what I mean? It's not your typical job. You're paid $25 million a year to run a football. He signed a contract. How did we skip on? He signed a deal within that 2 years. He signed a deal a year ago, last year, knowing this was his last season. What? Okay.
I love a man with a plan, right? Like I love
I do too, but what are we doing?
A man with a plan. This seems concocted afterwards. This seems like someone shot an arrow and then they drew the bullseye around it rather than the arrow hitting the bullseye to begin with. You know what I mean? Like it just seems like, no, I actually knew this was happening 2 years ago. I knew before you did. Like, okay, relax, Jay. It's okay.
I honestly hope, because if not, wild situation. Just no sense. But Jay is the only one that I would trust on Tomlin news. So it's very weird. It's very weird. All right, let's talk some Cam Heyward, some Aaron Rodgers, and a hint that he dropped on the Rich Eisen show last night.
Your favorite.
I think I'm the only one that found this. I was watching it last night as it was going, and Cam is noticeably in pain. I just want to toss that out there. He is noticeably uncomfortable sitting there the whole time. Like, not like awkward uncomfortable, like when you are driving for too long and you just start fidgeting. You know what I mean? And you're just like, essentially driving like this because your back, you just need that stretch going on. That's what the whole time I felt awful for him. I was like, dude, I know exactly how you feel, only not anywhere near as bad. He was asked about Aaron Rodgers and his return, obviously, said he's still mulling over things. When it comes to Aaron, he had this to say about if he's coming back, will Aaron call Cam and say, hey, you got to come back too? Instead of saying yes, Cam said this, quote, Aaron's probably worried about other people coming back. You know, it's not just me. Kenneth Gainwell, our team MVP this year, who balled out, that's a guy that a lot of people really like in our locker room. I want to ask you a question. MVS showed up in Pittsburgh because of Aaron Rodgers. Not really a question there. In the past, Aaron Rodgers has had plenty of say in his rosters throughout the Jets, the Packers, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is not a nobody coach. He knows Mike McCarthy very well. Do you think that Aaron is going to have at least one, but most likely more than one of, let's say, a list of quote unquote demands that he wants the Steelers to at least try to accomplish for him to come back and play another season?
As in this needs to happen before he would commit.
Yes.
And this would supersede this so-called deadline that has been communicated to him. Is that
so
what?
I don't think it needs to be it needs to happen before he commits. It needs to be promised that they will try before he commits. Yes.
Retaining Kenny G should be one of them. You know, if you're gonna give your list of demands in a hostage situation, this is not advice on how to do this, but start big. Same thing with the contract talks. You know what I mean? Like, you got to say, hey, the main point here is that they need playmakers. They need skill positions on the offensive side of the ball. They need more talent on the offensive side of the ball. Kenny G, one of the few, you know, there's some talented running backs to hit the free agent market. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. We've been discussing it recently. The versatility that Kenny G provides as a backfield and wideout threat is just so unique. And if I'm Aaron Rodgers and I am coming back, whoever the quarterback is, truly, I am, pounding the table for Kenny G to return just because of what he provides for this offense and the sort of go-to safety valve option that he truly is for any quarterback that starts for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So yeah, I think he should be on that list of demands, that ransom note that Aaron Rodgers left the office before he went home for the summer.
Do you think that there are that it's likely that list of demands is actually there? That if it will be there?
I would imagine there is some sort of understanding already in place, or yes, my answer to your question is yes. I believe there's probably some sort of understanding in place. Like, I only want to come back if we are legitimately trying to go on a playoff run. That means we need to have another wide receiver, make sure the running back room is okay, find that answer on the left side of the offensive line. Those are the things that a winning team would have answers to. So I imagine that's not, left out in the ether unsaid between the two sides. I bet that is very well known. Is it sort of, how official is that? I don't know, but I assume there's already an understanding in place.
Okay. I feel the same way. Can I toss a crazy name at you that I did my to-go on today?
Of course.
That I truly think could be on this list of demands. Okay. The Los Angeles Rams have this wide receiver. His name's Davante Adams. I don't know if you've heard of him. He is set to make $28 million in 2026. If they cut him, they save $14 million. Chances are they're going to cut him, right? Chances are they sign this deal as a 1 year, see what happens deal, and now you're moving on. You're telling me that a Mike McCarthy, Aaron Rodgers, Davante Adams, just one last go doesn't sound like it's on the table for the Pittsburgh Steelers, or kind of likely to at least be in contention to happen once he gets released. Now, he's got to get released. But if he does, you're telling me that that's not the second, that's the first name on the list. Kenny G gets bumped right down. Aaron Rodgers' list starts Davante Adams. Bring him home. Just saying, $14 million is a lot of money. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know the ins and outs of the Rams like that. If this was Pittsburgh, you'd be guessing that they're going to cut him, that they're going to save $14 million. Man, maybe, just maybe. I think he'd be first on that list. I did a whole to go today about how if the list of demands starts with Kenny G, ends with Davante Adams, and I'm going to stand by it. I think he'd be on the list.
You're a sick bastard. As long as the acquisition of a Davante Adams, as long as that does not supersede the team prioritizing and finding a talented wide receiver in the first or second round and possibly another in rounds 3 and 4, then okay, fine, right? They have 3. We talked about this, the same thing yesterday. They have 3 under contract right now, and Benny Sco, gotta love him, he's not going to play a lot of true snaps as a receiver. He's there for a specific purpose in which he made a Pro Bowl for it. So he's not there to catch passes. They need more pass catching targets for Aaron Rodgers, whoever, to throw to. So if you tell me they signed Davante Adams because he's released, you get him for a couple $1 million. You also draft somebody in the first or second round, and now you all of a sudden you have those 3 guys plus Roman Wilson plus some other free agent signing brought in to round out the group. I suddenly have a lot more confidence in their overall ability at that position. So I'm not advocating for this like you are. I'm not sure that it's part of Aaron Rodgers, the things that will guarantee his return.
Yeah.
I am absolutely in agreement with you that this organization and the people who make the decisions regarding it view that option as an upgrade going into 2026.
I mean, yeah, it's a mess.
And that's wild, brother.
Why? I mean, Davante Adams, I think he is 33 years old. So, it's the fall off's coming any moment now. But he did have didn't he have 1,000 yards or something? 1,500 yards and 10 times. He had a pretty crazy year. I'm pretty confident in LA. So I think it'd be a great number 2 next to 2B, I guess, next to DK. Plus you draft
789.
789. Not what I was looking for.
But he had 14 touchdowns.
Dude, do you know
Matthew Stafford's got to win MVP? That's crazy.
You would need 7 Roman Wilsons to catch 14 touchdowns in a season. I think that they'd call him. I think he'd immediately become the guy for the Steelers to watch. I think he'd come into Pittsburgh. If he could give you 800 yards, awesome. And then you draft somebody, and then you draft again, and then you got 4, And I think that's a good place to be. You need 4. Last year they had 1. You need more than 1. And I don't think it'd be an awful move, truthfully, as long as you get them cheap. And I think it'd be the top move for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Easy. Not. I wouldn't rank it top move. I would say it's their top move. You know what I mean? They'd be like, oh, Aaron Donald's coming out of retirement. Should we try to go him? Aaron walks in the room. Don't even think about it. Okay. There's this guy. His name's Davante Adams, and you are about to offer him $17 million in 2026. That's what's going to happen. I'm just saying. The guy got MVS here. Shout out. Let's finish it off with something way worse than Davante Adams coming to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh, good.
Yeah. This one's a good when I texted you this, I said, yes, you did throw up in your mouth, and many others will as well. Yahoo Sports Daily Podcast, okay, said this today when talking about options for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Quote, another guy that I think is an interesting name, this is more low-key, is Spencer Rattler. I think someone might take a stab at him. People got to throw darts. That's really what I think is going to be so interesting about all these candidates this offseason. Someone might throw a 4th rounder for Rattler and just go like, hey, see if this guy can start for us, or see if this guy can do it, like the Steelers. I feel the same way. It is the
what were these written words?
These were written words. These were in a podcast. But yes.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, did someone write these words down in an article, or is this a quotation?
No? Could you imagine if they were like another guy that I think is an interesting name? This is more low key, Spencer Rattler.
That's what. It's more low key.
No. No. I would. I'll start with let's start with a softball here. Okay. Let's not rip a man that we don't know off the bat. Let's ease into it. You know what I mean? A little blow to the knee before a blow to the head.
Okay.
What'd you give up for Spencer Rattler? What'd you trade for him?
What would I give up for him? I'd give up a pair of last year's cleats. Like nothing. I'd give him nothing. I'd give him a 7th round pick. And I'd say, listen, you got your guy. Tyler Shuck's your guy. What are you doing with Spencer Rattler? We don't want him. We're doing you a favor. We're taking him off your hands. You give him a 7th. I would trade literally nothing more for him. To kick it. I know that this feels like an example of where there is such a disconnect between like different markets, because maybe there is something about Spencer Rattler that I, not being a New Orleans Saints coverer, like not being on that beat, like maybe there's something I'm missing that would make me think, oh, there's starting potential. But all the way up here in Pittsburgh, PA, that's laughable. And we have a lot of funny conversations about quarterbacks for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Why in the good hell would Spencer Rattler be worth any of the 12 draft picks that the Steelers have when he's not a starter? You don't got to find out. It just ain't happening.
It just ain't happening. It just ain't. Let me remind the general public and whoever this guy is, in case they forgot.
Yeah, Justin Fields, tell us.
I would love to know. Justin Fields went for a 6th round pick. 6th round pick. Spencer Rattler's not going for a 4th, brother. He's just saying it ain't happening. More like a conditional 7th 2 years from now, if he plays 50% of the snaps. If not, you essentially just gave him to whoever you just traded him to, which is what he should go for. Now let's play an even more fun game, okay? Let's play the who would you start over Spencer Rattler for the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2026. My favorite game. We'll start with the easy one, my brother. It's the big number 8 himself, who's bringing Kenny G and Davante Adams with him, most likely. That is Aaron Rodgers.
Absolutely. I'm picking Aaron Rodgers.
Let's go to his backup, or at least the guy that everybody hopes is his backup. The 2nd-year stud himself, the Ohio State Stallion, the Buckeye, the national champ, the 6th round pick, but not worth more than Spencer Rattler, I guess. Will Howard.
I'd start Will Howard in a New York minute, baby. There, Spencer got nothing on Big Willie Howard.
Let's get interesting here. All right. There's this other guy on the Pittsburgh Steelers that we have overlooked yesterday. Talked about how Mark Kaboom Kaboli wants to start him over Will Howard. Nobody else does. Not a single person. Potentially not even himself. No other than future governor of the United States in some state, probably in the South because of the mustache, Mason Rudolph.
Man, you did it. Congrats, man. You found a way to get me to compliment Mason Rudolph. That's fantastic. He should clip this. Everyone clip this. Send it to him when he is the next governor of Southern South Carolina. When he's the next part. Just the bottom part. I would much rather take Mason Rudolph, the people's champion, over Spencer Rattler, because again, I think Mason could maybe win 1 game out of 17. I don't have that same hope for Spencer Rattler. I'm just hoping he can throw a ball.
I have no idea if he can. None whatsoever. Let's get interesting here with the next two. These two didn't finish the season on the Steelers' active roster, but are certainly fan favorites. One of them for getting mugged in Ireland. The other one for being not a real quarterback. Both of them beloved by the Pittsburgh Steelers fan base. They are no other than Skylar, one watch less Thompson, and John, wearing number 82 but throwing footballs in practice, was signed and unsigned and signed again within 45 minutes. We watched it happen one day. Rice Plumlee.
what do you know what brand of watch Skylar Thompson has?
No. Some English dude does though, for sure.
Rolex. Thank you. I'll be here all week. Thank you. Listen,
How long ago did you hear that? How long ago?
I just made it up right now.
Now?
Dude, I'm funny. I did improv in college. Are you kidding me?
Wow, dude. That was phenomenal.
Yeah, off the dome. Thank you.
I thought you heard that from an uncle like 7 months ago and you just been holding it in whole time.
No, I just thought of it. Give me credit for that.
Impressive.
And again, to make it not just like I'm bullying this grown man, I'd pick Skylar Thompson for sure over Spencer Rattler. Not even close. The preseason heroics were enough for me. John Reese Plumlee, love the effort, love the say yes to anything to get a job sort of mentality. Love that he's done whatever the Steelers have asked of him. Quarterback 1 week, cut the next week, come back a wide receiver the week after. The dude's committed. I give him a ton of credit. I would take Spencer Rattler over John Reese Plumlee. There's the line. We found it.
I guess I wouldn't do it for vibes. I would just do it for talent, but I'd feel bad about it. Let's finish it off with this one. I didn't think we'd get a yes going into this, but we got one. The one man himself, the only man who could make a Pro Bowl while stinking. Although Justin Fields got invited, which is just, we've come so far. We've come so far. The only quarterback that should start over everyone is none other than Shedeur Sanders, or would you go Spencer Rattler? Would you pick?
Oh, I'm taking my best bud, my uncle, Shedeur Sanders, even though I'm older than him.
My uncle. He is an uncle.
My uncle.
He is an uncle.
I look up to him, and that's why I call him that, because it's a term of respect here. I'd take Shedeur in a heartbeat. He's a Pro Bowler. You kidding me? What does Spencer Rattler have? Nothing.
Did something that his dad never did, and he made sure to say that 100 times. 100 times.
Loretta agrees with me.
As she should, as everyone should. Shout out to Spencer Rattler, man. Hope you're doing well. You're not going to end up in Pittsburgh. If you do, don't watch this episode.
Come on the pod. We'd love to meet you and have you, dude. Come on.
That would actually be awesome.
You can rip me apart for a minute. Just do whatever you want. Don't care at all.
I will be fine with friends afterwards. Those things scare me a little bit. They make me nervous. They make me nervous.
Me just getting made fun of for a minute.
No. Go. Everyone, go Google. Not right now. After the podcast, go Google Grant Cohn, Javon Kinlaw, coworker of ours, who did a podcast together. It's a good time. Grant's my guy. Taught me everything I know. I'm not gonna lie to you. So that's the dude. All right, we're going to take a quick break. On the other side of it, we're going to start answering all your questions. Toss them in the chat. We'll be back in 60 seconds. What's up, AST Nation? I've teamed up with DraftKings. The next great touchdown is coming, and you can bet on it. And the best way to do so is through DraftKings Sportsbook, where new customers bet $5 and get $300 if your bet wins, paid in bonus bets. Super Bowl 60 is here, which means it's the most exciting time to get in on the action. Love the thrill of live betting? DraftKings has got you covered. Bet live on in-progress games right as they happen. Then use your bonus bets to stay in on the action and bet DraftKings same-game parlays for a shot at an even bigger payout. And don't worry, if sports betting is not yet available in your state, you're fine. You can still join in on all of the fun with DraftKings daily fantasy sports and have the shot to win cash prizes. New customers bet $5 and get $300 if your bet wins, paid in bonus bets. Sign up using my promo code ALLSteelers and get in on the action. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. All righty. Shout out to our members. Shout out to our super chatters. This is only for glasses wearers. You'll be the only ones who understand this, but I took a sip of water during the break, and as I put it down, a little spot dropped and popped right in front of my eyeball. And it is the worst thing in the world. It's the worst. There's nothing. You could rip limbs off, and it would be less torturous than what I am dealing with for the next 30 minutes here. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to DraftKings. Shout out to our super chatters. Shout out to our members. Before we get going here, okay? And I will dive into hit the like and subscribe button. We're at 58. We're 2 away. We got 2 shows left. We're 2,000 away. We can do this, guys. We can do this.
Keep it trucking.
We're getting to 60 by the Super Bowl. When we do, we're giving away a signed Deshaun Elliott jersey. You want to be there. I'm telling you, you want to be there. You want to be part of this. This is historic. Let's make it happen. You don't gamble, but I have to set myself up for you to ask me because I can't just say, oh, I bet this much money. How much money do you typically bet on the Super Bowl?
$3,000.
That's good. That's good.
Can I be honest? I probably will throw like $20 down on something just because, like, why not? What else am I doing?
Nothing. I feel like it's the best part of the Super Bowl is gambling and losing money.
I gotta ask my wife first.
I don't. That's the one part of me not being a good husband is the gambling for sure. But I have a system. Okay, the first game of the season, I put way too much money in. And then I just, you know what I mean? We work it back and forth all year. And then we see what we do. And this year, you always hit that one bet, you know, that like hits right at the end, the big one that you put in early. And then that's what I use on the Super Bowl. This year, it's significantly more than what I usually have because I hit many big bets at the end of the season. Yes. However, that just means that I'm going to spend way more money on the Super Bowl in gambling, and most likely you lose it because I do the dumb things. You know what I mean? I'm like, Super Bowl, the coin toss is going to be tails. You know, first play is going to be this. Color. The Gatorade color. Yeah, the one year I found an offshore sports book that took Taylor Swift appearances. You know what I mean? I went over on the, I think it was like 28.5. Didn't hit. I was pissed. Yeah. Shout out, dude. Shout out to DraftKings. Let's keep it trucking here. If you got questions, toss them in the chat. Shout out to our members. Shout out to our super chatters. Can't thank you guys enough. We're going to kick in with Chris. Guys, analogy for you. Rooney not allowing the team to lose, to rebuild is like a farmer limiting the water and sunlight to crops and expecting good results. This is a good one, actually.
Yeah. Well, see, it's like The Martian. You know, you got to learn how to grow things in a whole new environment. And Art Rooney just, I think, expects the Steelers to flourish and grow and blossom with just the bare minimum. And we'll see if they can do it.
They won't, but I agree. Shout out to Chris. This is spot on. Chris has another one. Rooney is the Temu knockoff version of Jerry Jones. Gosh darn it. As a lifelong Steelers fan, it feels like he is ruining the team. He has murdered hope. Yikes. Rooney did win a Super Bowl, guys. Okay. Rooney has, you know what I mean?
He watched Mike Tomlin get hired. This guy knows how to run a team. I listen, I think there is a lot of criticism being levied, and I think it's justified, and I've led a lot of it. I think Art Rooney is still one of the better owners in the NFL. You know, to be one of them is not that hard because there's a lot of very bad owners in the NFL. Yeah. That being said, I think there is a real conversation to be had about how Art Rooney's fear of, you know, ruining or betraying the legacy of his family and the Steelers has led to some not great decisions, especially in the last decade. So I'm hoping they can course correct in some ways for his sake, but it seems to be a recurring pattern that the Steelers are putting themselves into worse situations despite claiming the opposite.
Agreed. Very much so agreed. In a non-serious, because I could just reiterate what you said, but I could also say this. Would you rather have Jerry Jones or the Temu Jerry Jones?
I would
not being Art Rooney, just the actual Temu Jerry Jones.
I'd take Barry Bones for sure.
That's what I'm saying. Pull up in like a half yacht. You know what I mean? He's just in a rowboat. And that's what he's doing the draft. I would love it, dude. I would love it. My favorite Jerry Jones story, the only one I have, is one year at the owners' meetings. He was sitting in a Starbucks, just like this, with his coffee right here. And I walked in and sat down next to him and introduced myself. And I said, hey, I got a buddy. His name's Chris. He's, ironically. And he's a massive Dallas Cowboys fan. And he said, Chris, I won't forget that name. And I walked away. I said, he forgot that name. Yeah, 100%. He doesn't even know who I was. I wasn't even real. Shout out to Jerry Jones, dude. Shout out to Barry Jones. Brian Gallagher, 2028 Steelers hire Marcus Freeman and draft CJ Carr. Go Steelers. Go Irish. To be honest, Marcus Freeman, cool. I would love CJ Carr. I would love CJ.
Is he a freshman?
He's a freshman this
Sophomore?
year.
Yeah.
I think he's a redshirt freshman.
Marcus Freeman is the man. It's going to be crazy to see how much more love and how much stronger the sort of like courting process for Marcus Freeman becomes over the next couple of years, because he shut it down real hard. But how long will he sort of keep that guard up and not want to make the jump? He's going to be an NFL head coach. It's just a matter of when, right?
Yes, I agree. He is most certainly going to be. It's. I think that's why he signed a 1-year deal or said he's coming back for 1 year, because he's going to take this thing year by year. He's going to talk to teams. He's going to understand the platform, and eventually he's going to make the right move, or he's going to decide it's not for him. But I do expect him to be an NFL head coach. If it's in 5 years, maybe the Pittsburgh Steelers are looking again. You want to bring a quarterback in here? I'd be all for it. I love Marcus Freeman. I love CJ Carr as well. TK, is it common for the head coach to call all the players or all the plays? Excuse me. Yeah, it is. It is kind of common for them to call. So okay, here like Mike McCarthy's not going to call the defensive plays. He's only going to call the offensive plays. That's fairly common practice of like a guy coming in there and being an offensive or a defensive play caller. Mike Tomlin was the defensive play caller in Pittsburgh for 19 years, or as soon as Dick LeBeau left. You got guys all over the place that call the offense or the defense. So yeah, I would say it's pretty common practice. You feel different?
Yeah. No. I don't think it's very common. The head coach is always calling at least one side of the ball. So yeah, it's very common. I think the thing that is more common now than maybe before is that certain offensive coordinators call plays. Certain head coaches only call offensive plays now. That's way more common now than it was 15 years ago. When Mike McCarthy first just started getting all crazy in that West Coast offense, like it was not like that. So yeah, I think it is pretty common, but we're going to see Patrick Graham's play calling come to life here pretty quickly.
Yeah, and I'm actually really excited for that one. Renegade Minka, Noah, what's the AST offseason look like? Keeping it trucking every day with all the shows until the draft. Yes, sir, dude. We will be on every single day. We might take, after the draft in like May-ish, we might take a week off just because neither of us may be around. But outside of that, we will be here every day. Rain, sleet, shine, or Steelers trading for Spencer Rattler. We'll be sitting right here every day. Let's speak it into existence.
Can't wait to bring the baby on the show.
That would be cool too. That would be cool too. That would be cool.
Figure that out.
Might
happen. Might happen.
Fire salsa. Noah, you got to stop using "let's keep it trucking" till you get another truck, my guy. Tell my wife that for sure. Dylan, McCarthy has a specific offensive philosophy. Do you think he'll use the jumbo tight end formation, which was quite successful? If so, do you consider it a starting position, Spencer? If so, do you consider it a starting position, Spencer, a free agent, or the draft? I'd go draft. I go free agent outside of Spencer, then the draft, then myself, then Spencer Rattler. I do think that this will be, I don't know about jumbo tight end formation. I'm not like super up to date on like everything McCarthy did at all times, but I do think that this is going to be a very tight end heavy offense in hopefully the right ways. I'm not going to say in the right ways, in hopefully the right ways.
Yeah, I genuinely don't have a very strong hunch for how much of the old Mike McCarthy that we know so much about we're going to get, how much might be new, how much he's willing to try. I also had a slightly different read on this question where I took it as like going those heavy personnels. I took Spencer to mean Spencer Anderson. Like, is that like, is he going to be like a de facto starter because they're going to like the base offense will become that jumbo set? That's what I'm just to be quite blunt. I don't know. I have no idea yet.
Yeah.
I think Spencer Anderson should return.
Return
He's got one more year. Same sort of role.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's even better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they had that heavy personnel set worked, and it worked because of the specific players in that personnel set. And if you have them both back at your disposal, I would imagine they're going to try to amplify that even more.
Yeah. I agree. Nate Moore, with all the recent hires feeling incestuous and feeling like a Green Bay reunion, why should we expect anything other than an A-Rod reunion? I'm convinced it's chalked up already. I don't think it's chalked up, but I do think it is very likely. I think him and Cam are both going to be back. I think that's why there's not really a lot of conversation, because right now it's just like, why wouldn't they come back? Why wouldn't that be the case? I would be very surprised if Aaron isn't the starting quarterback of the Steelers in 2026. I'd be even more surprised if he was the starting quarterback somewhere else. But I just, I think once his body heals up and somebody drafts a wide receiver, he's going to be like, you know what? Maybe I could go back one more year. Maybe we could just do these things. And then they'll win 9 games. So, yeah, I don't think it's chalked up, but I think it's close.
Yeah, I think it's certainly more likely than unlikely at this point. And I don't love it. I will continue to use the word incestuous. We got another cousin added to the mix today with
2 of them. One just got hired as we were on, another special teams assistant. They have 3 outside linebacker coaches and 2 special teams coordinators. What are you doing? I'm not.
Who's the other special teams coordinator? Is it Mike McCarthy Jr.?
No, it's Darius Swinton II.
Hell yeah, it's a great name.
I kind of love that name. Yeah, great name. Great name. I just feel like they're hiring them in the weirdest spots. Like, you don't know.
Expanding the staff though, Noah.
Yeah, maybe not to the people like TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith. Maybe to, like, I don't know, your wide receiver room. That would be awesome. Actually, that would be really good. Or I don't know, another tight ends coach, since your tight ends coach is offensive coordinator. You know what I mean?
I don't need one of those.
I just feel like there's ways to go about this instead of just hiring everybody because, why not? Is Duff back in 2010? Should we have any confidence that Big Mike doesn't last all 5 years of his contract? No, I don't think that.
Why do I feel like Duff is asking like in life?
Yeah. He just doesn't make it. Shout out to Big Mike. I hope he does.
That Duff has brought since his hiring. Listen, what do you think it takes? I guess no. Is it a losing season? Is it multiple losing seasons? Is it a 3-win season? Like, is it in your mind? Is it multiple?
Yeah, it's three. You got to go 3 losing seasons.
3 losing seasons.
Yeah.
Mike Tomlin never had 1.
I know, but Art Rooney's
gonna 3 years.
You're telling me Art Rooney's not going to hunker down as much as possible and try to prove himself right? Like, you know what I mean? Like Rooney, this is Rooney's decision, which means that Rooney is going to be as headstrong on this thing as possible, and he's going to mess it up if it stinks. But that's just, that's what the Steelers are doing here, man. That's what the Steelers are doing here. I would say it's 3 years, 3 losing seasons. Mike McCarthy's gone. I don't think it's 2, but I don't think they have to. I mean, I'd be surprised if the Steelers have a losing season this year. I wouldn't say it's impossible, but I'd be surprised
about that. I would not be surprised one bit. I don't think they're gonna, but I would not be surprised at all. And that's why I think, like, if they have a losing season this year, hypothetically, and it's like 8-9, you're like, whatever, first year head coach, who cares? Or we're trying to get acclimated to the system and everything's new. What if in year 2 they go 6-11? Gone. You got to fire that guy.
What if Will Howard's your starting quarterback this year and a rookie's your starting quarterback next year?
He's the quarterback whisperer. He's supposed to take them to the next level.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
But like, no, I get it, because from Art Rooney II's perspective, I think that would be the case.
Yeah, I'm just yeah. Just asking what, if that would change anything, because that is a possibility.
Not for me.
I would hope I don't hope that they lose 10 games, but no. I would hope that all it takes is 2 years. I would hope it takes a year, 6 games. Yeah, I mean, 2-4.
1 loss.
Get them out of here. 0-1. Get them out.
Give them the the Denzel Washington and Remember the Titans. He finds out you lose a game, you're done. You're gone.
You're gone. You're gone. Shut up. Pittsburgh Hornets. Do you feel that after that Cam interview, Cam is more likely to retire? If he does, are we in a decent spot to fill his role? I didn't take it as he's going to retire. I really took that interview as I don't think Cam is gone. I mean, maybe you feel different, but like it kind of feels like this is the first year he's contemplating things because things took such a sharp turn. But if Mike Tomlin was here, there'd be no conversation. He'd be coming back, you know? And I just think that he's got to get over the emotional side of things and then he'll return. So I really do. I think Cam's coming back. And if he doesn't, I think the Steelers are in a great spot to replace him with Keanu Benton and Derek Harmon and give Y.A. Black or draft somebody. I honestly think they'd be okay. You'd still lose Cam Heyward, who's phenomenal, but I think they'd be able to survive. But I don't think he's retiring. Do you?
No, I didn't get that sense from watching that interview. I think, if I'm being honest, I would say his appearance on the pregame show for the Super Bowl is maybe for him a way to test run if he would like to take another step beyond doing like his podcast when he does retire. But I got the sense from him that he, like Aaron Rodgers or a lot of the veterans, they just need the time to rest right now. Banged up from the season, not getting the sense from Cam Heyward that he is ready to just step away completely. I think that fire for him to try to win and end his career with a Super Bowl, that thing that has eluded his entire playing career, I think that spark is still very much there. And so I believe he's coming back.
Yeah, I agree. Maddie, Noah and Jacob, what's up? Where does Howard stack up against this year's quarterback class? I think if you were, favorably. I think if you were breaking it down, he'd probably sit right in that ballpark of like the Taylor Greens. He'd, Fernando be first. I think you'd have guys like Ty Simpson, Cade Klubnik climb their way into like conversations near the end of the first round. Trinidad Chambliss is now coming in here. He'd be ahead of them. And then I think after that, it's like the Will Howard territory. That's where I'd say he'd probably sit in terms of like where he'd get drafted.
Yeah. I would put him as probably like a third or fourth round quarterback in this year's draft.
Unless it falls like last year. I mean, is there any, like in my head, there's definitely a possibility that like Ty Simpson doesn't go until the end of the second round, and that's the second quarterback taken.
For sure. Sure. Yeah. I think that's definitely possible. Yeah. I certainly would have him well above Cade Klubnik. I'm not sure I'm excited for the combine to get a sense of what the NFL's evaluation sort of what Cade Klubnik is. But for me, he's at that Taylor Green level. I see some like Mendoza's the obvious one. Ty Simpson's a far too below him. Will Howard's right there. Trinidad Chambliss is right there.
Yeah, I very much so agree. Maddie, do we think Carnell Tate could drop enough for us to trade up a few spots to get him? I feel it's very unlikely. I think him and the dude out of Arizona or Arizona State.
Jordan Tyson. I
think both of them are top 10 picks. Like, and I wouldn't be shocked if one of them went to the Titans at like 3 or 4, and then one of them went somewhere else. I think they're both. You want to know who
Cleveland's going to take one?
Kansas City's in the top 10. You're telling me that Andy Reid with Carnell Tate wouldn't be ridiculous? That would just, So I just
running back from Notre Dame. Sorry, it's a Chiefs podcast now. get Jeremiah Love in the backfield.
That would be so awesome. Or
the tight end from Miami to replace Kelsey. Come on now.
Yeah. I agree. I agree for sure. Nate's got a little Carnell Tate learned from Davante Adams will become. I'm just saying. Sometimes you just got to point him out. Sometimes you just got to be like, you know what I'm saying?
I'd trade up to 15 to get him, but I know you don't like the idea of trading up for a wide receiver in the first round.
I don't. If you want to give up like nothing, okay, but I don't like it at all. How are y'all doing? What's more likely? Joey Porter Jr. extends his no touchdown streak over half the season, or Muth has over 400 yards through 8 games. Joey Porter Jr. Yeah. There's the one connecting factor here, and that is good old Aaron Rodgers returning and most likely doing the same thing he did last year, which is ignoring Pat Freiermuth until the end of games. Being like, oh, look at this guy. He's pretty good.
Yeah. I have no hope in the tight ends becoming like this extremely productive position for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think there will be excitement, of course, with Darnell and Pat Freiermuth, not Jonnu Smith, but I think it's really hard for me to envision any of them getting above 500 or 600 yards in total next season. So that would be a crazy pace to start the season out.
Yeah. Is Duff back in 2010? Excuse me. My cousin tried telling me Mike helped develop Favre, Aaron Rodgers, and Dak. What are timelines and facts to debunk him? He showed up. Joe Montana. Mike McCarthy showed up 10 years into. He showed up in 2006. Brett Favre was drafted in 96.
And the first time he worked with Brett Favre was in 1999 as a quarterbacks coach, and Brett Favre was already 8 years into his NFL career.
He was drafted in
91.
91? Wow, dude, Brett Favre's old, man.
Brett Favre already won an MVP award before he ever met Mike McCarthy.
Yeah. So there it is. There's a good one. I think Aaron Rodgers is a conversation that there's an argument for both sides. He came in, he was 4 years in as a first-round quarterback, learned behind Brett Favre, so you could say he wasn't. Some will say, well, he didn't start until McCarthy came. Okay, I think that's the hardest argument. Dak was 6 years into this thing. He already surpassed this guy named Tony Romo, who was pretty freaking good and took over the starting job. And then Mike McCarthy showed up and was like, yeah, we could do it. So Aaron's really the only claim to fame out of these three. And then there's Aaron Brooks, who's the real developmental piece, but nobody knows who that is. So yeah. Doesn't add up.
Check out my Puntori's playbook on that. Because that's the real success story, right?
Yeah.
So Duff, you can tell your friend, I know about this. You're wrong, but I know about Aaron Brooks and you don't. Because I watched Puntori's playbook.
Yeah. Because I watched Puntori's playbook. Andy Joe, Noah, you mentioned this morning that you don't think the Steelers will pick up a left tackle. Did you mean in the draft, free agency, or both, and why? I think there's a chance that they add a older veteran in free agency. I don't see the NFL draft very high on their list. I think they'll hold off on that. And then that's as good as you're getting. Essentially, they're going to go and get another Calvin Anderson, but better in my head. Because Broderick's still here. Dylan Cook's still here. You have two guys. They're going to at least test the waters with them and then go from there. You're not going to draft somebody unless you draft somebody that you think has starting potential. But why would you draft a 4th round left tackle, instead of holding off a year and drafting a 2nd round left tackle that is probably an immediate starter? I just don't think it would add up. So I don't think it's very high on their list, a left tackle, outside of a depth piece to replace Calvin Anderson, who's still under contract as well.
Sure. Yeah. I think they don't, contractually they have the Broderick still under contract, right? So don't worry about that.
So is Dylan Cook. So is Calvin Anderson.
So is Spencer Anderson, as we confirmed earlier. So they from a roster standpoint, strictly, they don't really need to bring in anyone else. I think if someone drops, I know someone has thrown the name in the comments around here of Caden Proctor, for example, or someone loves that dude from Penn State. Yes. If a top rated offensive lineman drops into round 2, maybe you take him because you're how can you pass up on this talent that keeps falling, right? Maybe there's a case for that. Outside of that, I think they are strictly looking at sort of depth pieces, like Noah was saying.
Yeah, I very much so agree. Pittsburgh Hornets, Joey Porter has said multiple times he wants to be on the Steelers organization. Do you think he has a shot? Yeah, I would bring back Joey Porter Sr. What? Why wouldn't you? You're bringing back 430 coaches. Why not bring in a 4th outside linebacker coach? Whatever, dude. Whatever. At this point, just hire them all. Bring them everybody in here. I wouldn't sign him as a honestly, at this point, everything's filled. I would just sign him. You know what? Don't even give him a position. Just put him there. I would do it. I would
Correct.
do it. I think
Correct,
they should do it.
Sir.
Maddie, what do we think about Trinidad Chambliss? Is he a realistic pick? And Rich adds on the Steelers in the 3rd round. I'd go Trinidad Chambliss in the 3rd round before I could breathe out the word Trinidad Chambliss. Yes. Yes. I don't know if anybody remembers this, but I love Trinidad Chambliss. I think the dude's an absolute stud with a ton of potential, and I would like him. He's my favorite quarterback in this draft outside of Fernando Mendoza. And he's the only one that's realistic to the Steelers that I would be excited for them to go after. And if they could get him in the 3rd, yes.
Yes. Well said. Don't reach for him, but if he's available there, you have 3 picks in the 3rd round, use one on him. That would be a great pick.
Yeah. Elvis, serious question, Noah and Jacob, who's your favorite NFL big boy?
Desmond Watson, obviously.
Desmond Watson. Wyatt Black's really tough to argue against because he's just awesome.
The belly selly.
The belly selly.
That is really cool.
Hilarious. Yeah. I'm trying to think of like guys that I know and then have left. Honestly, Javon Hargrave was one of like the nicest dudes to me when he first came in the league. I learned that Javon Hargraves is the reason that I learned that NFL players will kill you. It's not can they? It's they are. Every one of them can kill you. No questions. They will catch you. You could say, "Oh, I'll run." You won't. You have no chance. We were just hanging out, and I said, "Hey, I heard a rumor that you're like freakishly good at dunking a basketball." And he's like, "Oh yeah." And he starts showing me videos of him like, dude, like effortlessly dunking basketballs. And I'm like, you're 320 pounds, bro. You can't do this. You walk with your head is in front of your feet. That's how you walk. And
in front of your feet.
Wild, dude. Wild. Javon Hargraves, I think, would be up there. But Cam's always treated me well, too. He's fun. The new guy, Wyatt Black's on that list, too, because he's just hilarious. And he's got like a kind of like a sick sense of humor, which I kind of really love.
He's a sicko.
Love it. Like a little bit.
All-time favorite big boy has got to be Casey Hampton, right? Like there's just not a better one in Pittsburgh Steelers memory.
It's true. All-time, for sure. For sure. That is the best. And when he shows up now, he's about 140 pounds. And wearing sunglasses all the time. And you're just like, this guy's still a stud. This guy's still a stud. Artisanal Bully Kennel. I got Austin Barber in the 4th today in my mock draft.
Okay, Artisanal. Okay, Arsmiznal.
Tossing it out there. Who's give us a little rundown. Give us a little rundown of the.
Let me pull up the college for
a little Austin Barber.
Barber.
When this popped up, I thought
Florida
you went
Gators.
to the Barber.
Yeah. We got a big old offensive lineman. There's a big boy to add to your list. Yeah. We got 6'6", 314.
Yep. That's
we love
right
a big
there.
boy.
That's a good
we love a big boy. I'm curious, Artisanal Bully Kennel, if you did any trades to get up in the 4th round to get him, or if he just sort of fell to you. Either way, I think that that is maybe a better example of, if a good offensive lineman falls to you at an opportune time, that's where I think the Steelers are going to take that to address the left side, right? Like, I don't think they're going to do it at pick 21 or 53.
Yeah. That's how I kind of feel the same way. And I just think when you get in there and the muck of things, I'm not ready to guess. I'm not. CJD, excuse me. Hey lads, love the content. Just wanted your opinion on Denzel Boston and Omar Cooper Jr. I don't know Omar Cooper Jr. Who's Omar Cooper Jr.?
National championship winning wide receiver with Indiana.
Oh, never mind. I know Omar Cooper Jr. As wide receiver targets in the draft. Also, if it's possible to get a quick shout out from my B-Day, my guy. Happy birthday. Hope you enjoy it, my guy.
Happy birthday.
On a good old Thursday. Appreciate you for sure. I love Denzel Boston. Omar Cooper Jr., I think, is too high for the Steelers. That's where he's projected to go, if I'm guessing.
I have him as a 2nd round target. I'm looking at my big board right now.
So he's going after.
Yeah, I think not a first round pick in my mind. Probably somewhere like 30 to 45, but it's going to be really interesting to see how that run goes because man, there's probably like 10 wide receivers who could go anywhere from picks 25 to 50,
You want to know what I'm interested in when it comes to Cooper is what's he run the 40 in? Because he's like, I think he's got potential to like show up and kind of look like AJ Brown, just like a guy that you're just like when he gets to the combine because he's been training, he's just jacked and you're going, yep, yeah, that's scary. It's a terrifying human being. Because that's what happened to both those guys. I could see it happening.
The combine can elevate. That's for sure. I'm excited for it at the end of the month.
Yeah, me too. We'll look into it a little bit more. I'd say as a second round pick, I'd be all into him. Him.
Sure. I like another Indiana wide receiver. I've talked about Elijah Surratt on Hunter's playbook as well. Yeah. I think he's the guy who gets a lot of it. He seems like he has maybe just like a higher floor than Omar Cooper. Like he seems like he could step into a starting position. Hi, Loretta. Very quickly. So I'm curious to see which one goes higher in the draft between Cooper and Surratt.
Yeah. Leroy, I really think we will use the middle of the field more without Tomlin's fear of the middle. And I say we get AJ Brown and move Broderick to left guard. I'd go get AJ Brown if you didn't have to give anything up for him. You want to give up a 4th round pick for AJ Brown? Cool beans. Sounds good to me. But I don't want to give up anything more than that. It'd have to be a desperation trade. I just don't think the value is there long term. And you're not trading for him for, 2 years from now. Don't give up anything more than a 4th. So I'd be about it. And I'd move Broderick into left guard and let him compete. I don't know if he's going to be good enough. He's about 107 pounds, like you said the other day. But I've always liked Broderick's athleticism. I think it could. I think if he did it correctly, he could be elevated for sure. But again, I like AJ Brown, middle round pick.
I would It's the same thing with Davante Adams in my mind. If you can get him for the least possible sort of return, then sure. Like you're adding depth to a position of need. Otherwise, don't just go. You can address this in the draft. There's a lot of talented players.
Yeah. Howard, y'all doing? What's more likely, Muth having 500 plus yards with Rodgers or Howard? Will Howard all day. You don't know what a young quarterback's best friend is? Good tight end. Yeah. All day. Rob, wait. What did Kaboli say? He said the other day that he thinks Mason would hold the upper hand over Will Howard if those two were the starters. We love Mark Kaboom Kaboli. Geno Smith, Baker Mayfield, Jared Goff, Sam Darnold, Rich Gannon, Steve Young, Alex Smith. I know I'm killing y'all. Are we going resurgent first round quarterbacks? What's the vibe here?
Oh, that's a great. Yeah. Is that categories right now? Is that what we're playing?
Is that what we're playing here? I don't know. I'm interested.
Are these also quarterbacks Mike McCarthy developed?
Maybe.
Because you know who Alex Smith's first offensive coordinator was?
No way.
Mike McCarthy. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
2005 San Francisco 49ers.
Shout out to the guy. You know who I'd go off that list? Rich Gannon. Because that dude was a stud before he nearly died. Guy was an absolute animal. Richie G, man. And that boy was rocking full gray head of hair so early. He's the first guy on Madden that had gray hair. And I was like, this guy's awesome. This guy's awesome.
3 extra weeks just because of that hair color.
TK, are there any players you think might want to jump ship with all the changes? No, I don't think so. I think everybody is kind of calmed down at this point. I'll toss out 2 possibilities, Johnny Smith and Jalen Ramsey. I think both of them 100%. Could be like, why would I want to be here again? I don't think there's a ton of other ones, though.
Jalen Ramsey is the first one that comes to mind because the only reason he was interested in coming here, this is a guy who's played as best as he could, or he has played in locations the best that he could do in Florida and California. So like he didn't come to Pittsburgh for the weather,
or the
he
fact
came
that
here
he
to play for Mike
truck.
Tomlin.
Yeah.
So he stands out.
Yeah, I would say that's a good one. John, who I think is the other one. I just don't think that there's the love for him here Those would be the two. And we'll finish it off with John. Hey, Noah and Jacob, with all the new hires on the coaching staff, how many of these guys do you expect to see at the combine this year, and how much influence will they have on our draft picks? I honestly expect to see, I would say, a good chunk of them, but I don't like, that's pretty typical. You see pretty much everybody at the combine. Like everybody's there. It's just a million people in Indianapolis just hanging out. Like that's all it is. It's pretty great. They'll have, and I think again, like I think they'll have as much influence as like a normal coaching staff has, which is like, hey, these are my guys. I don't know how this one will be run. In years past, the way that the Steelers did it is they brought everybody in, they made their pitches on players, so on and so forth. Then they made their big board. If we were drafting first, who would we take? If we were drafting second, who would we take? If we were drafting third, who would we take? And not the best player, who would they take? The Pittsburgh Steelers take in the first pick, in the second pick, so on and so forth. I don't know how that'll change, but I don't expect it to be like, I don't expect Mike McCarthy to be like, I just hired 72 coaches. You all leave right now. I'm drafting. This is my draft. Get out of here. I just don't think that'll happen.
Table for 27.
We'll know if we walk into a restaurant and the whole thing's booked out for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Whole thing. Yeah. Be awesome. Be awesome. Leroy, me too. Send Rudolph and Wilson to the Vikings for Madison and a few picks.
The running back? Sure.
Oh, yeah, honestly. Sure. Sounds good to me. Like, I wouldn't be opposed to this one at all. I think that's totally fine. Nice number 2 with Jaylen Warren. A little more of a thicker back, you'll say. I'd be about it for sure. Injury concerns are there. Boy. But yeah, I like Alexander Madison. I'm not upset about that one. I actually like this trade. I would do it.
I like getting rid of Rudolph and Wilson even more.
Yeah, those things sound great. You know, more room.
Those are good things.
Those are good things. More room for Spencer Rattler. That's what I'm saying. All right. With that said, we're heading out of here. Thank you guys so much for jumping on to another episode of All Steelers Talk. Make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/All Steelers Talk. Check us out anywhere you get your podcasts. And as always, Leroy means Jordan Addison. That's a super big yes. However, you'd have to give up way more than just Roman and Mason Rudolph. You're giving up those two
picks to them.
Yeah. Those two in like a second round pick plus some. Honestly, maybe a first round pick. Jordan Addison might be going for a first round pick. He's 24.
Is he like in trouble again or something like that? Is there something?
Yeah, for like the 130th time. Yes,
okay.
He is currently. But again, like I'd do it, whenever. I want to figure out the rest of the stuff later. Yeah.
Come home to Pittsburgh, brother. Let's go.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Wouldn't work. You'd have to adjust the trade pretty significantly, but I would do it if you could pull it off. I would, for sure. All right, now we're heading out of here. Thank you guys so much for jumping on to another episode of All Steelers Talk. Make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/All Steelers Talk. Check us out anywhere you get your podcasts. And as always, find all our work at si.com/NFL/Steelers. Hit the like and subscribe button before you get out of here. We are gonna hit 60K by the Super Bowl. We got 4 days, 2,004 days. Let's do it. Appreciate you guys as always. We'll be back tomorrow. Until then, enjoy another beautiful day in the Berg.